Well, we're joined here by Eric Trump, who is the Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization. A very warm welcome to you. We're also joined by Ziad El Chaar, who is the Chief Executive of DarGlobal. Let me start by asking you, Mr. Trump, how many years have you been coming to Saudi Arabia, and how have you seen the skyline of cities like Riyadh evolve over the years?
I've been coming to the Middle East for many years, 20 plus years, and I've been coming to Saudi for 6-7 years at this point. Been here many times, and love the country, love the people, love the projects that we're embarking on. Dar, Ziad, the entire team, they're incredible. They're the best in the world at what they do, and we're partnered in a lot of different places. But we had an unbelievable success in Jeddah, as I think you know very well. We're building one of the most beautiful buildings anywhere in the world in Jeddah, right on the water. We're incredibly proud of it. Obviously, we're coming into Riyadh in a very big way right now. And we're working on other projects in the region. In Oman, spectacular project. That's hotel, golf course, as well as an incredible hotel in Dubai. And so we're doing a lot of things together and others, and incredibly proud of it. But we love everything we're doing in Saudi. The country has treated us unbelievably well. The growth, the explosive growth in the country is incredible. What they're doing right here in Riyadh, the vision for Riyadh is unbelievable. I'd say it rivals anything anywhere in the world, and we're incredibly proud to be here.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about some of the projects in detail in just a moment, but have you ever seen so many massive projects being launched simultaneously as are happening right here in Saudi Arabia right now?
Yeah, so I was driving last night, and I tapped my wife on the leg, and I said, look at that skyline. You know, I've never seen so many cranes in my life, and I've seen the boom of Dubai, and I've seen the boom of a lot of different places, and what they're doing with the Diriyah project is unbelievable. The scale, the scope, the level of detail that they're going in, the excavation of the rock to literally use in every single wall, the preservation of the old kind of, castles, and I mean, it's really an incredible thing that they're doing, and they're doing it with tremendous heart and soul. And I think a lot of people from around the world should look at that project and see what they're doing, because that's going to set a great benchmark for so much of the world.
Ziad, let me turn to you. We've spoken in the past, and it's great to have you on the show again. But I'm told a lot of your ideas, both of your ideas together, are born on the golf course. Just tell us how the partnership with the Trump Organization came about.
So the interest in the brand started a long time ago, because when you want to do a golf project around the globe today, you only have one brand to look at, which is the Trump Organization. So this started a long time ago with golf in the region. And obviously, when we wanted to do more golf projects, you have one brand of luxury, exclusivity, and delivery for the customer. Not only luxury and exclusivity, it's a brand that delivers to the people who are enjoying those houses and golf courses and golf clubs.
Okay, what do you think the Trump brand means in this region?
So, when you look at the brand, since its inception, it has always been a brand synonymous with exclusivity, luxury, delivery to the customer, enjoyment. And going into a Trump property has always been like going to an event. Not just, having a house or enjoying a round of golf, it's just going to an event. So it's always like an eventful brand that people enjoy.
Yeah, and we've seen it firsthand. How does the partnership work? Dar licenses the Trump name. How does all of that work?
They're a local partner in our region. There's markets that we have tremendous expertise in. There's other markets where it's going to be much harder, right? Culturally, language barriers, type of construction, type of zoning, how you absolutely navigate. So it's really important for us to have a local partner in a region. You come into the Middle East, you want to have the strongest company, and Dar is exactly that, and so it works really well. Our architects, our engineers, our interior designers, our sales team, obviously marketing efforts, media efforts, everything is coordinated. I mean, we're effectively one team, and obviously we're going to operate the properties, we're going to manage every aspect of them, we're going to operate the golf courses, we're going to operate the hotels. But it's great to have that institutional boots on the ground knowledge of who's going to be your best contractor, who's going to be your best civil engineer, who's the best people to bring this to life, because listen, real estate's incredibly local. And so no different than we'd be the best person to do that in a New York or a Miami or a Florida. There's no better company in the world to execute that vision in the Middle East than Dar and Ziad. And Ziad and I have worked together for a long time, a very long time. And I mean it when I say this, the best the most professional, the most fun. That matters to us, right? I mean, we can do every project in the world. We have the option of doing every project in the world, and we're really, really selective on the projects that we undertake. Very, very few. I don't want to be one of the big brands. I don't want to have 14 hotels in every city. I want to have one, and I want that hotel to be the absolute best. I want to have one golf course, and I want it to be the absolute best in every country. We're about building icons. That's all we want to do. We want to build the most iconic projects anywhere in the world, and that's who certainly Ziad is. That's what Dar is embracing on doing, and that's why I think we're gonna win this race. We're gonna win the race on price per square foot. We're gonna win the race on absolute quality, and we're gonna have a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah, if there's anything you'd like to add to that, because I mean, we had Mr. Trump saying there, you're one team, two strong names, but what sets you apart in this crowded market with all those cranes we were just hearing about?
You see, I want to deviate a little bit from the pure real estate play, because we are embarking this month in particular on something that we've been waiting for years, which is the opening up of the Saudi market for international investment. And when a market opens up, especially after a long time, and you bring into that market an international big brand like the Trump brand, this helps you to market these properties to the globe, and consequently the real estate developer will move from just being a housing provider or an entertainment project provider to becoming part of the FDI of that country. Because we plan to bring in the 125 nationalities who already deal with us in the other countries in which we operate to Saudi Arabia and become part of the integral evolution of foreign investment in the country.
Right, so you're going to see a whole new demographic of real estate investors, because not only has the stock exchange opened up to foreign investors, also the real estate market, as you say.
Exactly.
Have you got any delivery dates for us for any of the Trump projects here in Saudi Arabia?
So between the Trump Tower in Jeddah, the project we're launching tonight, and even the project we're launching on Monday, everything is going to be delivered by 2030.
And where do you see this partnership at the end of the decade?
I don't see it at the end of the decade. I don't see the end to something that is really working, that is delivering to the markets, to the countries, to the customers. This is a continuous, successful relationship.
I've heard you, Mr. Trump, expressing frustration with the business environment in Europe, and how there's a lot of regulation, a lot of red tape gets in the way. How do you find doing business here in terms of regulation?
Incredible. It pains me to say that. I've got a lot of property in Europe. You know them very well. I've got property in Scotland. I've got property in Ireland. We've got property all over the place. And Europe has lost its way. And my mom was European. I pretty much grew up in Europe. Everything's a no. Everything's a struggle. Everything's difficult. Everything's expensive. Energy. They've lost their energy policy. And everything is incredibly difficult, and it's really, really sad, because Europe is an incredible place with incredible people, but everything is difficult when you're developing there. You compare that to the Middle East, you compare that to certainly Saudi Arabia, you compare that to the UAE, you can have a couple people say, yes, that's a beautiful project, that's a smart project, let's get it done. You're not going to have obstructionists that obstruct for no purpose whatsoever, that just don't believe in forward progress. This is a region that looks forward. It doesn't look backward. I think Europe, unfortunately, is a region that so oftentimes looks backward and doesn't look forward. And so I can tell you, building in the Middle East is conducting business is substantially easier than conducting business in Europe. And again, that pains me to say. I'd love nothing more than to have a super easy business environment in Europe. Unfortunately, it just does not exist.
You mentioned Diriyah just a moment ago, and Jerry Inzerillo is, I think, a mutual friend of all of ours. He's a friend of this program, and he teased this possibility of a collaboration with the Trump organization in Diriyah. Have you got any details you could perhaps offer us on that front?
So Jerry's been a friend for many, many years, going back to the casino days in Atlantic City. It's actually funny, I ran into Jerry right here in Saudi on our first trip, just kind of off the cuff, and Jerry's a wonderful guy, and what he's been doing with Diriyah is incredible, and the vision and the master plan is beyond. And I think the leadership of this country deserves a tremendous amount of credit. Very few countries anywhere around the world would take on such kind of a bold initiative and make it happen as quickly as they are. And obviously Jerry is a big part of that. And so yeah, Jerry's a friend to Ziad. He's a friend to certainly myself. He's a friend to our entire family. I mean, he's known my father for probably 40 years, and he probably knew me when I was a small little kid running around. And so it's fun to see these worlds link back up on the other side of the globe.
Indeed. We'll have to wait and see what he's got in store and what you've got in store collectively with Diriyah. You've both been exploring real estate tokenization. That's a first, I gather. And just for the benefit of our viewers, that means fractional ownership backed up by a blockchain technology. How did that come about, Ziad?
You see, always with the Trump organization is breaking the paradigms and really starting something that works rather than keep on trying what has never worked. And a lot of companies and a lot of institutions have been toying with tokenization since 2015, and they've been tokenizing assets. And when we had this discussion, it was clear that tokenization of assets does not work because it draws down a very small return. And this is where we came up with the idea of tokenizing at the level of the development itself and involving those investors who are today in this virtual world, in this crypto world, in the development of hotels where they can earn an IRR or an annual rate of return, which is much more attractive than tokenizing 10 apartments somewhere and earning 1.5% per annum. So this is where we started with the Trump Hotel in the Maldives, which is going to be an amazing property delivered in the next 3 years. And we're tokenizing at the development level, and it's an absolute first, always an absolute first with the Trump organization.
Yeah, and you've worked in blockchain in a previous role, and you're a self-professed crypto evangelist. So no surprise that this initiative came about, perhaps.
Let's say here's the reality of the world. Everything's going to be tokenized. Art's going to be tokenized, Hollywood's going to be tokenized, commodities, oil, gas, they're going to be tokenized. The way money moves around the financial system is going to be very, very different. It's very different today than it was 3 years ago, and I personally believe you probably won't have the SWIFT system in a 5-year period of time because there's nothing that blockchain can't do better, faster, cheaper, more transparently. You have some of the greatest digital asset classes. Look at Bitcoin, probably the greatest return of any asset class anywhere on Earth, about 70% a year on average, year over year. For the last 10-year period of time, you look at the development of stablecoins and the ease of use of stablecoins. This is getting ingrained in people, and so there's no doubt that real estate is going to become tokenized, and that's exactly what Ziad and I are working on in a very big way. The way the financial system interacts is going to change. The way real estate is purchased is going to change. In fact, Ziad and I were the first people, and it made tremendous news. I said, Ziad, do you mind if I go up on stage and say we're going to actually accept cryptocurrency for the purchase of apartments for Trump International Hotel and Tower Dubai at the launch? And I said that. The audience went absolutely crazy. And I think there was more articles about that, and we were the first people to do that.
Yes,
and so cryptocurrency is here to stay. Cryptocurrency right now is roughly where the internet was in 98, 99. That's how much growth there is left in it, and it's exploding every day. Obviously, America's leading the way, and frankly, the Middle East is right behind. It's right there. The amount of love for kind of crypto-based projects, blockchain-based projects, is incredible. And last but not least, there's a lot of problems that blockchain solves for real estate. Title. Why can't all title, instead of being done in some title office using antiquated paper, why can't that be done vis-a-vis blockchain? The way the actual money's paid, the way brokers is paid. There's a lot of things that blockchain can do to simplify and actually really enhance real estate, and we plan to exploit a lot of those things.
Okay, we're coming to the end, and I know you've got no interaction with Washington, and you've described a very large wall that exists between you and that has anything to do with government. 1,500 miles northeast of where we are right now, some major events are taking place on the streets of Tehran. And I wonder what you made of that, and whether you see perhaps a day in which Iran is a market that could be one day perhaps open for the likes of Trump, the Trump Organization, and DarGlobal.
I would love it. I would love it. I think I can certainly, obviously, I do wall myself off from politics, but I can say that the one thing our family cares about is peace and prosperity around the world. I think my father's been one of the great peacetime presidents. The amount of wars that he's kept the world out of, the amount of wars that he's stopped. He wants peace. He wants prosperity. And it's exactly what this region wants. I know everybody in the UAE. I know everybody in Saudi. I know everybody in Oman, all these countries. And what do they all want? They want peace and prosperity. They want to, what they're building is incredible. And what's the one threat toward everything that's being built? What's the one threat toward Diriyah? What's the one threat toward, these incredible visions and these incredible dreams and these incredible lifestyles and this economic boom and businesses thriving and children thriving and education thriving? What's the one threat to that? And that's crazy. I mean, the one threat to all of that is crazy. And so my father wants peace and stability, and he would love nothing more than to see that in Iran. Iran's got amazing people. I mean, absolutely amazing people. And hopefully that situation works itself out in a way that's beneficial not only to Iran as a country and its society, but clearly the entire Middle East.
Okay, and there's another huge piece of virgin real estate in the world, which is in Greenland. Do you think opportunities will present themselves there?
I mean, if you're asking me whether or not I think I'm going to be bringing a hotel to Greenland in the near future, I think the answer is probably not. Greenland is strategically important for a lot of reasons, a lot of global reasons, a lot of security reasons, not just to the United States, but pretty much the entire Western world, including exactly where you are from. And so, Greenland is becoming more and more of a source of conversation, especially as some of the northern sea routes open up, and especially as more people look to militarize that part of the world. We can't be babies, we can't be naive, we can't pretend something that is happening isn't happening. And I think my father will ultimately do what it takes, if required, to make sure that, kind of the Western way of life, certainly America, but the Western way of life and Europe is safe and protected against, forces that don't have our best interest in mind.
Okay, we appreciate you sharing that with us, and we appreciate both of you talking to us. We want to keep the conversation going and keep hearing more about successes in the real estate world from both of you. Eric Trump, Executive Vice President of the Trump Organization, thank you very much indeed to you. And thank you to you, Ziad El Chaar, Chief Executive of DarGlobal.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.